compassionate logic.
New ideas and efficient tools for a happier, more connected life.
The ego is trying to create a framework of stability in a world that's always changing. It's trying to create a belief system in this is going to be the same, and then it clings to that for safety.
It makes it easier for the mind.
Yeah, it makes it easier for the mind if it has this familiar, unchanging framework, but we know in our experience of life, life changes all the time, in spite of our attempts to keep it the same. Things are always changing. Our bodies are changing, our relationships are changing, our beliefs are changing in subtle or sometimes not subtle ways, moment by moment, by the decisions we're making, by the experiences we're having. Life is constantly changing, we're changing, things are breaking down, things are being built, things are being invented, things are being forgotten. So life is changing, but our minds try to lock it into a mold, and when that mold gets threatened, then we respond with a stress reaction. And we go to our fight or flight instincts and try and protect not ourselves, but our ego's framework of this is reality, we need to keep it like this.
You need to protect that.
Yeah. A short way of explaining it is the ego tries to control the present by making the future look just like the past. Part of us that is our ego, that part of us that's trying to protect us in that way, that really reactive, defensive way, it thinks it has our best interest in mind, and it's trying to protect us that way.
When it comes to anxiety and stress, we're hardwired from almost 1 million years ago at the basal brain before we even had a prefrontal cortex to stay alive. So if there's something that makes us fearful, then that primal part of the brain goes to work to get us out of that situation, or to make us freeze up so that the dangerous thing will pass, or be able to stand and fight. And then comes along a prefrontal cortex, which has 50,000 thoughts a day, and then the physical dangers, or even the choices that we make each day. We don't have to choose, okay, these berries are going to kill me, or those berries are going to be okay, or I can pet this animal, or that animal is going to kill me. Those aren't threats that the basal brain is deciphering, but it's still in there running its fear-based reactions. But now it has 50,000 thoughts a day that most of them are still searching for the negative thing that might hurt us. And how do we avoid that to stay alive? Have you ever noticed how many of your friends and family seem to bond with other people over negative events or negativity in general? Get together and gossip, get together and complain, which really doesn't relieve any pressure, it just creates more anxiety and stress. So you can see that we're hardwired all the way back to that primal brain to stay away from things that are going to kill us.
But now they aren't things that are going to kill us most commonly, every once in a while. But they're things we've manufactured, but then still respond to that way with that primitive part of the brain.
Yeah, the mind has the same physical response to thoughts of perceived threat as it actually does to a physical threat.
And that's one reason why horror movies work and why people are into them, is it triggers that fear response of I need to get to safety, and it gives this certain hit of emotional chemicals that are hard to get at other ways without creating a fear. And that horror works because our brains get into that image and that story and make it real for us. It wouldn't be interesting, and horror movies would be really boring if they didn't scare us. If our brains didn't create a reality where that was actually happening, then there would be no response.
Yeah, the physical response is the same whether your brain is imagining it or it's actually physically happening right in your reality.
Our egos are trying to protect us. They believe that part of our brain, whatever it is we call the ego, that conglomeration of thought centers of the brain that work together to try and keep us safe in a reactive way, they're doing what they think, or that part of us is doing what it thinks it needs to do to keep us safe. Control the future by making the present look like the past. It believes that because that's familiar, it knows how to handle it. And so even if it is extremely negative, it will try to reproduce it so that it can handle it, because it's better to have the devil you know than the devil you don't. You don't know what's going to happen if I leave this abusive significant other, or if I quit this job that's toxic. So your brain often will say it's better just hunker down and survive it, get through it, because it's familiar than risk going out and doing something that might be worse.
Thank you for watching our video.
If you like the video, please subscribe.
Please like.
Please leave a comment below. Thank you so much.